Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good
Glad y'all
evening.
came out tonight there. Hey, do you remember the Verizon wireless commercial years ago about this guy talking on the phone to someone? And he's moving from area to area. He got a crowd of people around him. And he's constantly asking the person on the phone, "Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we
Sure.
hear.
Can you hear me now?"
Yeah, you good.
That's this guy right here. I know y'all remember him. He became be known as "Can you hear me now" guy.
No, I can't see him now. I can hear him.
Today, I would like to talk about the evolution of the cell phone. It's been in existence for decades, but it's only in recent years that technology has came about and advanced to the point where cell phones are equipped to provide every media you need. The first commercial cell phone was known as the MTA. It was released in Sweden in 1956 by Ericsson. It weighed 90 pounds. It was real bulky. It had to stay within range of the tower, else your calls would be dropped. There are basically 4 generations of cell phones in existence now. I would like to begin talking about the first generation. The first generation of cell phones, known as the 1G, came about in the 80s. It was invented by Dr. Martin Cooper, and he was the general manager at Motorola Corporation. And this phone was called the Moto Dynatac. That's a picture of it right there. It used analog signals to transmit communication. Rather than being portable, they were known as car phones because they were installed in cars. Some came equipped with tote bags, and they were plugged into a DC outlet to charge them up on the battery. Now that I've talked about the first generation cell phones, I'd like to cover the second generation. Second generation phones, known as the 2G, became in existence in the 90s. And because of advancements in batteries and electronics, these cell phones became even smaller. These cell phones started using digital signals, which was much clearer and fewer calls were being dropped. Text messaging was introduced to the young generation at this time. The younger generation also began consuming media through their phones, and it made it as the new venue for the marketplace. Now that I've talked about the second generation cell phones, I will move on to our third generation phone. Third generation, which is known as the 3G, was first created in 2001. These phones use the new technology to increase the data speeds. This provided greater access to the internet. Users were able to stream live music, and they was also able to look at movies on their phone too. The smartphones also became popular during this time. These phones was used because they were able to do multitasking. You can do a variety of things at the same time. You can listen to music, make phone calls, you can text messages, whatever you want to do, pretty much. Thanks to the Apple iPhone, apps became a feature on our phones at this time too. Today, the majority of our cell phones still operate on the 3G network. Now that I've covered the third generation of cell phones, I would like to cover our final generation, which is the fourth generation cell phone. This generation is known as the 4G. It was introduced in 2009. This technology is capable of even greater speeds than the 3G. And that's necessary for some of the more sophisticated applications that we have on our phones. Though it is not yet available everywhere, it is available in the larger cities. It has become more available as the popularity of the cell phones. As the popularity of cell phones, smartphones, and other mobile devices grow, this technology will continue to evolve and improve. At this time, we will see even faster devices and smartphones. They will be capable of performing all our functions as a desktop computer do now. Today, I've talked about our 4th generation phone. 1st generation, 2nd generation, 3rd generation, 4th generation. And just remember this, you can't hear me now. And this is a photo of the map where the coverage is right now, all in red. You can see that fewer calls being dropped today. I want to thank y'all for coming out and listening to my speech.
That's good. That's good.